Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Thursday. Welcome to Thursday's ad-free live stream. Super pumped that you're here this morning. Making sure we got an audio check. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you're here for the first time, my name is Tyler. Super pumped that you're here. I'm going to be helping navigate you through the wild world of day trading futures. During the live streams, I'm going to be sharing my daily trading bias. I'm going to be giving you a front row seat to all the action, live trades, all the good stuff. And if you're watching this after the fact, you can jump to the key moments using the chapter markers below, using the chapter markers in the video. And lastly, if you're looking to take your trading to the next level, you can use the code DTJ. DTJ to get the most updated discount that Apex is offering if you're looking to start trading with a prop firm account and not use your own money. No sound? You should hear. You should hear some sound. Everything is giving me a green light on my end. But other than that, I will wait for make sure I have a couple other confirmations that we have sound. Okay, T-Loft, thank you for letting me know that we got sound. Let's go ahead, open in prayer, and then we will start with our higher time frame analysis. So, Father, we just thank you for a great week of trading so far. We thank you that you are here with us. You are here guiding us and giving us direction, Father. Continue to teach us. Teach us show us our areas of weakness. Show us the areas that we need to improve on. And, Father, that we can surrender to you and live a surrendered life unto you, Father. Thank you that you've given us this ability to produce wealth, and we choose to exercise it for the kingdom of God. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, folks, let's rock and roll. Good morning. Lane U. Do I have that correct? Lane U? Welcome. I'm glad you're here. T-Love, good morning. Esteban, amen. Good morning. I just want to make sure I pronounce it right. You know, I've learned that in live streams, if you just can't pronounce it, just be honest, and because you want to make sure you're saying people's names right. Eva, good morning. Well, thank you, Esteban. I'm glad it's close enough. I really do. My wife is African, and I really make it an effort to try to pronounce names correctly. My wife's name is Lucrece, is how you properly pronounce her name, except everybody calls her Lucrece. But being part of the African community, my wife, I make it a very big point to make sure I can pronounce people's names correctly, or the best that I can, obviously. Wilhelm, good morning. Lil, can we say Lil? Good morning. Okay, so where are we gonna go from here today, folks? What's gonna happen today? Here's the chart. Let's do some super focused here. We got 11 minutes before the market opens. We got our equilibrium of Wednesday's range right here. Here's the midpoint. We ran up into the daily fair value gap yesterday, as I predicted that we would. Timing is always the hardest part in trading, especially when you got an entire day to actually hit that level. Up from here, we have this daily order block sitting right here at the high of this new week opening gap. Could we go higher? I think we might have more of a ranging day. So we do stuff like this. We wick higher, come back down, like something like this. Okay, but obviously all in a single day. We're looking at a single candle right there. So we might just have some ranging. So that means we may have to find some internal targets that we may have to grab, because we've already ran the previous day high right here. John, you have no sound? Some people have sound and some people don't. So with that, we are inside this weekly opening, the new week opening range, sitting right here, and we are sitting just underneath it. If we drop down to the 4-hour, the 4-hour has given us our London high. And we're sitting inside this 4-hour fair value gap. Now, when we drop down to the 1 hour, there is a 1 hour fair value gap sitting right here on the premium portion of the 4-hour fair value gap. So here's the midpoint of the 4-hour. So the premium portion of that fair value gap is the hourly fair value gap. And that hourly fair value gap is overlapping with all of these swing lows, which this could be right here a breaker. You could call that a potential breaker. So I could see us potentially running up to this imbalance. Considering the way price is structured right now, we've already come back down into this hourly fair value gap. I was hoping it was going to drop a little bit lower into this breaker on the 15-minute. You can see this breaker right here that overlapped with this 15-minute, and we just wicked into this 15-minute and have been pushing higher. We had news this morning at 8:30 that has already, the highs and lows have been tagged, and so we have this London high sitting right here. So I see a narrative for higher prices. Here's our current low of day right here. And we haven't ran the midnight open in the London session. Good morning, Ted. Orange fan, good morning. Tony, good morning. And we haven't ran the opening range. We haven't ran the midnight open, so that could also be of interest as well. Here's the midnight open right here, and here was our close of the day. So we do have some opportunity for lower prices initially, and I think that's what I will look for initially. I would like to see prices run those levels. I think that's initially going to be my focus, seeing if we can come back down here in this direction, fill the opening range gap, new day opening gap, midnight open breaker, and see if it wants to run for the low of day or if it's going to stay above it. If we stay above the low of day, we're probably going to have a bullish day reaching for the hourly SIBI. If I was to put some type of narrative in place, I would want to see it happen something like this. I think that's what I would want to see. Something like that. Nice Asia session. Ted, I feel you. I'm going to be doing a challenge here. It's not going to be during the live stream, most likely. I'm going to be doing a small account challenge of taking a $500 account to $1,000, then $1,000 to $2,000, and then $2,000 to $5,000, and that's going to be a per video type deal. But I think the one thing, Ted, that is holding me back from seeing the progress I want to see, that is going to be, I had the word for it, the types of trades that getting rid of all impulsive trading. Following the rules, being extremely disciplined, that is going to be my focus, and we're going to be sitting and waiting for those setups that are inside the plan and strategy. We use inversions and breakers, and as long as it's within the narrative of what I'm looking at, I'm okay with taking a trade like that. But the problem with impulsive trading is most impulsive trades are not thought through. Most impulsive trades are speculative. Most impulsive trades are, oh, I'm feeling great. Let's take a trade here. I could make some more quick cash. And that impulsive trading results in blown accounts, results in losses, results in negative feelings, which turns to tilt, which turns to overtrading, which turns to revenge trading. So impulsive trading, I think, is the enemy to our success. Yesterday was a fantastic day. This whole week has been really a great week, and I just want to continue that for this week. All right, so we got our daily candle here, or our 15 minutes. We tag the 15 minute. We're inside this 15 minute right here with a 15 minute order block. We're at the new week opening gap low right here. We filled this 1 minute fair value gap and potentially rolling over here. We'll see if it wants to do that. We got 4 minutes till the open. Apologize if I have any bodily sounds from my mouth or nose, because I've been dealing with the lingering effects of a stuffy nose. Three minutes till open. Yeah, I like the way this look. We have a breaker right here. Running into that. If my narrative is lower prices, I see the support for that. We'll see if it wants to continue that direction.
Order submitted.
All right, we took the 930 model there. That played out for us. Let's mark our 930 opening price. Little sweep of this swing low. Let's see if it wants to push lower here. Midpoint of the daily range or the daily fair value gap. Nice reaction. Filled all these fair value gaps sitting right here. There's the 1 minute. There we go. Nice reaction right there. Holy cow. Beautiful immediate rebalance to a push lower. I'm not going to lie, I did take that. That just happened so quickly. When we retraced all the way back down here, I went short just for 10 handles. I mean, you can't. That is so textbook, so beautiful, especially when we haven't ran this low down here. We full-bodied candle. The next candle retraces all the way back up, touches the order block, then retraces all the way back down. I'm going to take a short right here just for a quick 10 handles. That was a beautiful play. Sorry I was not able to show that, guys, because it just was in and out. Went from the 2 minute to the 1 minute, saw it, took the execution. Was that an impulsive trade? I would say no. It was part of my plan of price moving lower initially, and we had our targets down lower. So right now I'm looking to see if we want to run into this breaker and see how we react to these levels here. Okay. This breaker is anchored to a 15-minute time frame right here. You can see those levels right there. The reason why I selected this is because it's in the middle. You could even do the high. Let's do the high. Because it's overlapping the midpoint of this 15-minute fair value gap. I just like it. It overlaps nicely. So that's the main reason. We have our first fair value gap sitting right here. I'm not going to take an initial exposure entry off of this breaker. It's not that obvious to me, so I don't want to take that. Let me give you an example of one that was obvious that happened earlier. When did it happen? Right here. It was right here. Look at this level here. This is an example of the initial exposure that I like to trade. I'm becoming more comfortable with it. Look at that reaction right there. Now, I wasn't trading at 5 a.m. this morning, but this entry right here would have only been 2-3 handles of drawdown and an immediate reaction to your in your direction. That's easy for 10-20 handles. So that's an example of one, and it was obvious because we just have this nice high point sitting right there. Okay, good reaction to the first fair value gap right here. We reacted based on this 15-minute fair value gap. I would not be looking to go short here. I would be looking at this as an inversion. Let's look at the 2 minute. 2 minute looks better for an inversion with this 2 minute here, but that's just too high. 3 minute, that's too much. So really not a clear entry here. Not a clear opportunity in my mind. We still wanted to see if it wants to reach for the low of day or if it wants to rebalance to the new day opening gap sitting right at the low of the opening range gap that we have highlighted here in yellow. This isn't a significant enough level for me to want to take this long. And quite honest, I mean, it qualifies. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't feel good about it. If this was a previous day low, if this was a weekly, monthly low, a very obvious breaker to me, this isn't super obvious. It is. It works. It overlaps with a few things. To go long here, to me, I don't want to do it. Let's let price settle and get situated. Let's see. What's up, folks? Phil, good morning. Thank you, Ted. I appreciate it. Oh, you're talking about Deborah. Yeah, that's way better. Deborah, how you doing? I'm jumping from comment to comment, and I see Ted's comment. Been thinking, praying for you the past few days. I'm like, oh, thanks, Ted. Makes total sense now. Just look at the comment right above. All right, so here's an inversion to the downside. I wouldn't be taking that. Simply why? Because we have a discount PD array we're finding support at. I want to see us close below it and expand lower. If I'm interested in taking a short, we can take it off of an order block right here. But we need to see displacement for that to take place. And I'm just not convinced for that yet. Nodin, good morning. I don't think I've seen your name before. Welcome. Glad you're hanging out with us this morning. Maybe you've been here. Maybe you haven't. So Ted, your point on 120 handles, is that what this was? 137. Yeah, it's just over 120 handles. And look how it runs directly. It's not a guarantee. When he said that, to me, I need to see the structure. This structure does not say I'm running away. Do you know what I mean by that? Really, look at this structure. The structure, if this was opening price here and we had all of this, then I'm thinking it could run away. But we've already retraced so much and we're coming back lower. We have support down here that it just makes sense that it would run this way. That's why I said initially I want to see this and then this. So we've done the first part of my plan. The second is, do we want to move higher? And how quickly is that going to happen? Yeah, he does say it's a high percent that it will. I think ultimately if I was to go back, Ted, and I'm probably not going to do this, but I would look at a handful of opening range gaps that are over 120 handles and look at the structure of price at open and prior to that and look how it forms. It's probably not going to look like this. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Esteban, 10 handles is 10 points. It is, yes. Hey, let's hit the like button. Let's get over 20, and I'm going to switch over to my other screen so that we can take an on-screen trade here. Yeah, TOC, I've had some people say that in the past. Did you go to the initial email with the link to it? If you need a new link, I'll send you a new one. Just send me an email and I'll get that up to you. The way I use ClickFunnels as the website, and they do a smart login, which is an email only, and sometimes the link just stops working over time. So send me a email and I will send you a new link, and that should solve the problem. And you can ask any question at any time, TC. There's always there's never an inappropriate. Never, I take that back. There are inappropriate times to ask things. But I will more than likely ignore a question if it's inappropriate. If I don't think it's inappropriate, I'll address it. Yeah, the magic link. It's kind of weird. I don't know why they do it that way, but I guess it may be more secure instead of having a password that somebody can steal. So here's a breaker. High, low, higher, high. I'm not interested in this. I'm just seeing the structure of it. And then this candle right here rejecting these series of up close candles right here. And a rejection. So we'll see where this wants to close. But the reason why I personally wouldn't take this is we haven't ran liquidity. It's, to me, A+ is when breakers grab liquidity. A- breakers are when they fill imbalances. So here's an imbalance we're filling, running into another breaker, high, low, higher, high, breaking low. We come back up into it. This is legitimate. We've had displacement. And then we have another breaker, high, low, higher, high, breaker, lower. So we'll see if it wants to actually run lower. Midnight open. I take this back. Midnight open, I forgot, has not been tagged yet in the London session. So we should be running for midnight open. We just need some displacement. Let's see if we get a 2-minute here. See how it rejects this order block right here. Not quite enough displacement between these two candles that I'm looking at right here. I wanted more displacement between this down close candle and this series of up close candles. We have another breaker right there. I think I'm going to take that right there. Just for 10 handles. See if it can give it to us. High, low, higher, high. We have the breaker right here. We haven't ran this low yet. We made equal lows. Let's see if we can grab it. All right, there's 10 handles right there. Just grabbed in and out. I'm telling you, 10 handles is just like is just the bread and butter. It's just so easy. I shouldn't take that. I don't say this out of any form of cockiness at all. But when you look at trading in general, is it easier to get 10 handles or to get 50 handles? I mean, the obvious answer is 10 handles. The problem with most traders, including myself, is we want those big wins. So we don't take the low-hanging fruit. And the low-hanging fruit has made me profitable. And I have to consistently remind myself, okay, I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit here, get the trade, get the profit, get out, go home. 10 handles, 20 handles, that is it. I mean, you do that across 10 accounts, guys. So right now we got 7 accounts. I'm up $1,400 and I've only done 2 10-handle plays. Look at the reaction to midnight open. This is what I was expecting. And as I become better at and more confident at my draws on liquidity, at where I think price is going, I'll get better at holding trades longer, or be like, you know what, let's move it from 10 to 20. It's at this key level. I feel comfortable with that. And I'll get better at that over time. But I'm not going to try to force myself to make more money when I know I'm consistently winning with 10 to 20 handles. That's just me, folks. If you're looking for those big winners, I will get better at that, but that's just not this channel as much. It's the base hits, getting the wins, getting those base hits wins, and then getting out. And then it's going to be exercising discipline the rest of the day, and not actually be like, oh man, if I would have just held, I could have got another 50 handles. It sucks, but it's part of it. Here's low of day right here. I don't know if we're going to hit it or not. Let's just see how it reacts here. But nice trade off of that breaker. High, low, higher, high. Displaced lower. I like this candle here. That's what was the main reason. The close of this candle was below this order block, and that's where the idea for the entry came in right here. Not running that low yet, or making relatively equal lows, and then we pushed through it. Base hits win the game. That's right, Hank Fine. Took the breaker to the midnight open. Way to go, Ted. That's the trade. That was it right there in my book. Should go down to 353. Let's see, 353. There's low of day. That's so L/H is low/high of day. That's what that stands for. TOC, gotta run later, my friend. Now, if we close, let's jump to the 5-minute. Let's figure. All right, so look at this 5-minute fair value gap. If we close below this 5-minute fair value gap, I would say we're probably going to see lower prices. I would say we're probably more bearish than we are bullish today. So I really am expecting to see price hold here. And 5 minutes closing in 3 seconds. So it closed in the premium portion of that 5-minute fair value gap. Okay, if we closed way down here, I would still inside it, it's not as bullish as it would be closing in the premium. And if the body of the candle closed above this fair value gap altogether, that's even more bullish than if it closed in the premium portion or in the discount portion of this 5-minute fair value gap. Now, it doesn't mean it can't go lower. We have 5 minutes on this next candle. This candle could wick down to the low of day and then continue up higher. This is just an initial signature saying, all right, we filled the opening range gap. We closed inside the 5-minute fair value gap. We filled the new day opening gap. We've done a lot of rebalancing here. I could see us see higher prices. So what we would be looking for is displacement. We wait for displacement in the bullish direction before we do anything. Okay? We need to see nice displacement. Now we had some major displacement this direction, as you can see, to the downside, but we are filling the opening range gap, 5-minute, new day, midnight. All of this is right around here. The only thing potentially lower is the low of day. We'll see if it wants to do that or not. ES, I think, tagged the low of day. Here's low of day right here. And yes, it did. So it did tag the low of day right there. So in my book, we could absolutely see higher prices at this point. Yeah, it could be an SMT as well. I want to see this breaker fail. I don't want it to run lower, personally. If it closes below this inversion right here, I still wouldn't be interested in it. And did we close? No, we did not close. We have not closed below that inversion yet. We have especially when you got midnight open right here. I'm not interested in that. Are you looking for a bearish break? Are you talking a bearish breaker or a bullish breaker there, Ted? Good morning, Jordy. We're doing fantastic. It's been a great week. We've been exercising lots of discipline, taking less trades, taking higher quality trades, and it's been great so far. 350s you're looking for? 350s would be the low of day. Yes, that would be nice. That would be what I would be. I don't know if I'd be looking for that. If I was to take a trade, it would probably be the inversion of this right here. So I'd want to see it find support at that breaker, move higher, close this inversion, and then take that for the long. Yeah, we have an SMT on ES. We'll see if it holds. ES has ran the low of day. It's sitting at the low of the new week opening gap from the 5th. Let's see if it makes another low of day here. Makes a new low. It would be nice if ES makes a new low and then NQ doesn't, and then we get that push higher. That would be a clear SMT in my book for me to be interested in it. I'm looking this as an inversion. I want to see price not find resistance here, but run through it and find support in here. Got 2 minutes till 10 o'clock. All right, ES just made a new low. There's the new sweep of low. Let's see if we get a price to move higher and see if NQ doesn't make that low. That's what I'm watching for right now. I mean, it's not looking like it's going to do it, but looks like it wants to run lower. Even if we wanted to go short, there's not an entry for us here. Not a clean entry. All right, so there's low of day there. All right, we need to jump out a little bit higher, and I need to see if there's any other targets that we might be missing lower. We have 930 that's been tagged way down here. It was tagged at 1145 and then bounced higher. We got this large opening range gap that has not been filled yet. Right here. That could potentially be if it really wants to run lower and it's going to avoid this hourly fair value gap. That's where it would go. We'll see how it wants to react here. To be honest, what I would be interested in and looking for if we're going to run lower, is something like this. I want to see price run lower here, find support at the low of day, and then I would want to see it run lower. And then I would take an inversion like that to the downside. But I need to see that we really want to find resistance here and then violate a discount PD array to move lower. That's the only way I think I'd be interested in going short. Let's run, Ted made a good point. He made a comment in there. Let's do the range. Here's 10 a.m. So there's the low right here. To the high. One standard deviation falls right at 930. And the opening range gap. 3 lands at the midpoint and 4 lands on the low of that opening range gap. That looks convincing. Does that not? Does that not just say this is where I potentially want to mess around in this area? To me, that's what that says. So what I did is took the high and low point of within the first 30 minutes, and that gives us a rough idea of the potential range we could see for the day. It could go much higher, but quite frequently I see it actually at least run 1 standard deviation higher from this point to this point, or from this point to this point. So we'll see. We are on the 1 minute here, and let's jump to the 2 minute. 2 minute has an inversion right here in 1 minute. I like this reaction here. Let's see if it can not give it to us. Quite the reaction right here. I'm not going long based on that 1 minute. There's an inversion here, and there's an inversion or a fair value gap here. We've closed above all of them. We'll see what the next 30 seconds holds. ES actually did not. ES hit the low of day and is running lower. Here's ES right here. So we ran it. We coming up and we're finding resistance at the low of day. I'm not saying that that's going to mean we're running lower, but it is a signature in price. So the 2 minute closed below this fair value gap. This is why we waited for the 2 minute. Single fair value gap in this price leg, and it didn't close. All right, if we are, I think that's a little premature. Caught along at 339. Way to go. Nice point right there. Nice entry. Those make for the ones that run in your direction right away. Just feel so satisfying, doesn't it, J Money? All right, there's a 2-minute close right here. I think I want to take a long. I haven't done anything yet. I want to see it react from here. And my charts are choppy at the moment. I think I want to wait. I want to get above this series of down close candles that hit the low. I want to break above this. I want to close above this for me to be confident. That we are going to move higher. Let me get rid of this. There's just too much. Yeah, it looks nice to go higher, but I mean, it could as easily as drop right here. We haven't really displaced. So this is the series of down close candles that ran the low of day. Okay, so for me to have a change in state of delivery, I need to see it run and close above this level. Okay, so here's the 2-minute. It's about to close. 4 seconds. And it closes above it. Nice. All right, that's going to be probably potentially pretty aggressive. We'll see how it wants to react here. We still have this as an entry here, folks, as well. But I'm liking the direction we're going. No fair value gaps in here. We do have this fair value gap right here. See if it wants to close above. Look how we wicked up into this fair value gap. See that wick? I don't like that. No displacement above this. We closed above it, but no displacement. So we still have to wait for displacement higher for us to be confident that we're running this direction. So I need a large candle here. Okay, I like the way that looks. Let's see if it gives it to us. Ran into a 15-minute fair value gap. Sitting here. I'm going to close the opening range and get rid of that. It's just a lot on my chart that I want to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of this 15-minute as well. Look at how we closed again. No displacement higher. Look how we've respected the 5-minute body that I mentioned before that I wanted to see. That 5 minutes was respected on the 5-minute time frame. How large is this? This is 15 handles. 14 handles. This is a large fair value gap. Okay. No displacement higher. We still have this fair value gap down here. If we close below, we will be taking a short. It just refused to get up there. It hit this 1 minute. It tagged it 3 times, but we're just not getting up there. We need to see that displacement. This breaker is still in effect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. This could move lower on the 30-minute. On the hourly, we did a rebalance here. Touched this bearish order block. We did run this low. And 4-hour ended up lower right here. We didn't quite rebalance this area, but we came close. I mean, to me, this just, it is looking more to the downside than the upside at the moment. It's refusing to move higher, and this is the point that it should have done. If it's going to move higher, it would need to find support here. If we break this, I'm probably taking a short to this low. Watching this volume imbalance, we have to close below that level. This swing low was at 10 a.m. I'm seeing evidence for higher prices and evidence for lower prices. That's why we just got to be extra cautious. We got to wait. We got to really wait. Wait. Too choppy, Tony. Yep. Finger. Good morning. Welcome. Unless you're Jewish, you know ahead of time. Quite the reaction candle there at 10:16. Right at midnight open. From 947, we've been basically moving sideways. So we really need to wait till we get displacement out of this range. And this, honestly, is probably the worst place at this point right here to take a trade. If you look from this low to this high, midpoint is sitting right in between this new day opening gap. So everything in here is just uncertain. Equilibrium means it could go higher or lower. I mean, basically. For those of you that are on the stream that are appreciating the commentary that I'm giving you, if you're interested in joining our day trading community in Discord, I have a day trading course called the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. You can find the information in the description. You can go to dtjacademy.com and you can find more information. And it will also give you access to the day trading community that we are building right now. Basically, I just lay out everything that I'm sharing with you in detail in an organized way, so to teach you how to trade as well. Ultimately, you want to be able to do this without the voice of somebody else in your ear. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the link down below in the description. But would love to have you. If you have more questions about it, either you can email me. I believe my email is in the description, or you can just put a question in the chat. So it's 10:20 right now, folks. I think unless we get an obvious setup, I think we're waiting till 11. So we got, or, 10:45. So we got about 25 minutes before I get more conviction on something. Adzi. Glad you're hanging out with us still. Good to have you, my friend. My kids are getting so big. My son's staying home today. Apparently, I think I gave him a little bit of a cold. My son is now 13 years old. And he's almost as tall as me. That's about another 6 inches or so. But dang, how time flies. I'm on a stream. What's up, bud? You know, I'm looking at this, folks, and I'm looking at this and saying, you know, I was interested in taking this, okay? Aggressive candle, displacement, run towards this high right here. But I'm looking at the 4 hour and I'm thinking to myself, we have this order block right here, which is sitting at 440. You can look right here look right here. Sitting at 440. Then we have our previous day low or previous day high sitting right here. I'm not sure if we're going to get up to this level right here. Even if we get a change in state in delivery at this point, process is so unclear, I'm a little reluctant. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, Jordy. It's nothing is clear at the moment. And I think that just means we need to wait till the next macro, which is at 10:45 to 11:15, and see if we get something that gives us an indication on the direction it's choosing. We want to see if it wants to show its hand to us. The 10:02 inversion, that's tough, man. Because if you would have gone to the 2 minute, you would have had to wait for the 2 minute close right here. And the 2 minute close would have worked. But it just happened to be right around midnight open. And I said I wanted to see it potentially find resistance here and see if it wanted to move lower. And we had this candle right here, big candle, and removed all of it. So I was just concerned it could just, collapse on us. So just not something I wanted to do. At least we got one on-screen trade. So far, we're 2 for 2, 3 for 3 if you include the 930 model. But we got the first trade after open was that immediate rebalance right here on the 1 minute. Just looks so nice. We closed right here, very large body down close candle, and immediately we ran up higher, hit the order block, and then lost all of that retracement. And I got in short right here for basically 10 handles towards the low, previous day high, sitting right there. And then the next trade we took was this breaker right here, high, low, higher high. We broke below it. We came back up into this up closed candles, the body right there, and we went short for 10 handles. And those were our two plays. We got this one on screen, but that was about it. And now we're just waiting. Honestly, the downside looks better than the upside. I think I would be willing to take this. I don't think I'm willing to take this at this point. We have a lot of room in this candle to retrace to. We have a lot of downside movement from this bullish candle that we could retrace. Yeah. I'll change my bias to see lower prices from here. I would be willing to take this inversion to the downside. It would be something like this. Target is 17 handles away. So we should get anywhere from 10 to 15 handles potentially, depending on how the candle closes below this. And ideally, if I had a preference, I do not want to take it at 10:30. I will not take it if it does it at 10:30. I see too many times the 10:30 candle just fake me out, closes, and then runs the other direction real quick. I'm not going to mess with it. But if you're not following, or if you guys are interested, I'm going to be doing a small account challenge. It's not going to be live streamed. It's going to be on, I'm going to record it. It's going to be probably lunchtime trading or afternoon trading. My goal in that is going to be, I'm only allowing myself to take one trade per day, starting at 500 on a $500 account, one trade per day, doing proper risk management, proper trade management, and looking to see if to build that up to $1,000. So we're gonna start that video series probably today. I'll probably take that trade in the afternoon if something presents itself. But the goal in doing this small account challenge for me is to exercise discipline of only taking one trade. That is the real reason behind this series, is I really want to exercise only one trade, one time, proper risk management, and being okay with a win or a loss, and then closing the account for the day. That is the main goal of this little video series I'm going to be doing, this small account challenge, because I know that I talked multiple times, and I think I highlighted yesterday the spokes of to be a holistic trader. You need to have all of these different elements, and one of those is that ability to be able to walk away, be patient, wait for just that one setup, and then call it a day. I know that needs to be a more significant area of focus in my trading, and so that's what this challenge is going to be focused on, is taking just one trade and choosing to walk away after that. I'm not interested in this breaker. If you see this high, low, higher, high, I'm not interested in that, because this did not run any liquidity. It is running into the same breaker that we've been highlighting from the beginning. It seems to be the ultimate breaker at the moment. The more times we hit this level, the more likely it breaks. So if we come back up and hit this again, man, I wouldn't be surprised if it just decides to run through it. You can only do it so many times. Okay, it is 10:31. I still will not take the if it closes right now below this within a giant candle, I may be interested, but I'm hoping it doesn't. Cuz I really don't want to take that trade. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh. This is a perfect example of what 9:30, 10:30, 11:30 can do to you. I hate that. It shows you where it's going to go. It acts that way, and then it just vanishes. This is why I won't take 9:30 or 10:30 trades. I think I'm making that one of my rules. I mean, on the spot, I think I'm making that one of my rules. I don't think I'm taking 10:30 trades anymore. I've been burned too many times. I don't have the data on it. I feel it. I just know I've been burned so many times doing that. Be right back, folks. Can use the restroom. Okay, we're back down. What's going to happen here? Let's see if we get that set up here. 8 seconds. No close. No close below that inversion fair value gap. We have to wait. We're not going to let the emotions freak us out. Wait for the close. I might try to reach for 20 points on this trade if it gives it to us. $20 points. Right around there. I'm not interested in anything in this, folks. I'm not going to go long here. I want you to look at something right here, folks. Look at this. This is why we include the volume imbalance. This was the fair value gap. We closed below the fair value gap, but we did not include this volume imbalance. This is why we include the volume imbalance. It did not close below that. And then it runs the other direction aggressively. We're coming up on the 11 a.m. macro. I'm now comfortable going long. Why would I say that when I said I'm not interested in going long? We ran this low. We filled this fair value gap, and we didn't run the low, but we ran as low, and then now we're getting aggressive candles. This is a signature in price that says we pretended to go one way, now we're going the other. But I'm still not going to take anything inside this in case it wants to still run lower, and this is just manipulation. I'm more interested in a close above that. Well, actually, might not even be that. I think it's going to have to be this 2-minute. That's a single fair value gap we have there. So it's a 2-minute. Let's put that on there. Because it could still just run the other direction. And if it wants to do that, that's fine with me. Because I'm not taking anything until it becomes obvious. I won't even take this inversion right here. I'm waiting for this. That's the one. Bree, the volume imbalance. Just treat this fair value gap. Okay, this was the fair value gap. That fair value gaps are a series of 3 candles. Okay, I'm going to put this on the 1-minute time frame here. So we're going to watch this, but I'm going to explain what I was just sharing with you. Okay, so I'm watching this on this chart. We got this candle's low, high, and this candle's low that creates this fair value gap. If the fair value gap, if the candle number 1 or number 3 have a gap between candle number 2, so candle number 1, candle number 2, candle number 3. If 1 and 2 has a gap, you include that in it. If 2 and 3 have a gap, you include the gap, and you just extend that fair value gap to include that little volume imbalance. It's just a portion of price action that was ignored with any type of trading. Let's see if this gives it to us. We swept the high. We swept this high right here. Let's see if it wants to be aggressive or if it's just going to turn around again. We're basically waiting for a close below that line for our entry. Give me a wick up into this fair value gap. I would like to see that. And then an aggressive displacement. We didn't get it on the Nasdaq. So we probably aren't going to close below. Let's see if this next candle can wick up into this fair value gap right here. There we go. It did it on the Nasdaq. It did it on NQ. This is NQ, MNQ right here. So MNQ and NQ both have hit it. Let's see if it wants to roll over and push lower now. Doesn't look like it's going to give it to us on this candle. It could be the next one. Next candle is at 10:45, which is the beginning of the macro. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm watching the countdown for that 1 minute candle. We're at 42 seconds, 40 seconds. And I'm looking at how close do we get to the close of the candle by the time we're crossing the level that I'm looking at. Now, we may not get it here, but if we get an aggressive candle lower, I'll take an entry before we actually close if we're relatively close to the closure of that candle, that 1 minute candle. Because sometimes these candles can be very aggressive. And I just want to make sure I'm catching that portion of it. We don't have any. There's 20 seconds left on this candle. 38 seconds. It's too much time for me to go short if it gets below this level. Too much time. $10 seconds, or 10 seconds now. This is more my, I like this. Let's see if it wants to give it to us. Nope. Everything looks like it wants to run lower here. It's just a matter of, will it give us the closure and the setup that we like? We do not want it to close way down there. So there's 30 seconds left on this candle, and it looks like it might run without us. If it can get back up here, oh, shoot, that sucks. Okay, I'm waiting. 9 seconds left. Let's see where it closes. It did not close. It did not close on the Nasdaq. It did not close on an MNQ either. We did not run the low. We did not run this low sitting right here. So we're still waiting. The setup is not looking in our favor because this could just expand. We got 36 seconds left. This is why we wait for the closures, man. Holy cow. Okay, no close. Wick below. We didn't run the low, but we ran everything here. Let's see what happens if we get displacement, if we start getting displacement higher. Just the 5 minute looks so heavy. The 5 minute looks like it's just ready to roll over. It stopped at the midpoint of the last long wick. Exactly. Thoughts on pre-market and overnight trading. I will trade pre-market on a no news day because the price action tends to be smoother, my trade brain. But I rarely will do overnight. I've done overnight once, and that was because a major key level hit. I take that back. I've done it and I've lost. But when I am doing it for profits, it's because a major key level was hit and I expected it to run the other direction. Good morning. What a chop. Yes, Kabode. Good morning. Jordy, I'm done. Can't do it. Chop City. Take care, my friend. All right, another sweep of liquidity. Small points of liquidity right here. We're just being patient. This is the key. Okay? We have all of this crap going on, but we said, I like this level down here. So what do? We wait for that, and we still haven't got it yet. That has allowed us to not take any of this crap. We don't want to take this crap. This will just roll over at one point. This will just roll over. It just looks like it wants to. We do have this low resistance liquidity all right here. High, high, high. Fair value gap. How long will they make the flag? I don't know. Is this considered a bullish flag? Is that what it's called? I don't even know. Man, I tell you what, I'm glad I came across ICT early. Here's a breaker. Low, high, lower, low. Displacement. Breaker. See if it wants to expand higher. This is where it should do it. When I started out and I started watching videos, I heard about bull flags. Just bear flags. I probably at some point trade them. I probably lost money doing it and I just have blocked it from my memory. A lot of sitting, folks. A lot of sitting. I think that's a nice thing about being on stream with other people is I can talk about stuff. You guys can listen to different stuff instead of just staring at your charts and taking dumb trades, impulsive trades. B minus, C minus trades. I mean, you look at the 5-minute, it looks nasty. Let's check out the 15-minute. Wick City. Wick City. Got a fair value gap here on the 30-minute. Rebalanced on the hourly. We got 4 minutes left on that hourly candle. 4 minutes. Let's see what happens here. Jeez. Yeah, this just says it wants to go lower. This chart, hourly candle, major displacement, closed below this fair value gap. The only thing is this hourly candle did run this low. If we close green on this hourly candle, heck, I don't know. We could go higher, we could go lower. And it certainly looks like it wants to go higher at the moment. Low resistance liquidity right here. Let's see if this breaker holds again. What's your profit risk ratio? So the risk ratio, it's typically a 1-to-1, 1-to-2. I'm either doing 5 micros or 10 micros. I'm usually looking to capture 10 to 20 handles, 10 to 20 points, typically. Unless I see an aggressive move, then I'll take profit of 10 to 15, and then I'll hold for a bigger move. Does that answer all your questions there? Not even an opportunity to go long here. This inversion. Just closed. We didn't run the high, but that's just poor risk to reward management there. All right, if I had a guess, we're probably, I mean, if this was me and I was telling where price was going to run, I would run all of this right here. I would run all of this aggressively. Pop. Just like that. I go boom. And then from here, we would wait for this 2-minute to close above. And if it doesn't, then we may see lower prices again. Exactly in this formation right there. I draw the sideways line just to articulate what level I'm looking at to break. Break on through to the other side, higher. $50 seconds till the hourly candle closes. Are you in a trade? Are you singing that song by Switchfoot? Can you take me higher to a place where blind men see? All right, we swept this high right here inside that 2-minute. Let's jump to the 2-minute chart. This is what that 2-minute chart looks like. This candle's low, that candle's high. Decent displacement. Still want to see this break above that level. We may come back down. We could rebalance right here at this breaker. Low, high, lower, low. Break higher. Support. Expand higher towards 930. ES is absolutely moving higher right now. Took the internal, the LRLR, the low resistance run on liquidity. Not bad. It's a good draw on liquidity, for sure. Especially on the 1-minute. I just didn't like how it... If this candle closed maybe here, I would have been more interested in it. But it closed. My risk to reward would have been 16 handles of drawdown I would have had to deal with if it retraced against me. Finally broke above that breaker. I'm going to get rid of that now. No clear entry for me right now. We got 1 minute left. To be honest, I really would rather see it retrace first and then run higher. I don't like getting a series of green candles, closing above that level. I'm not, it's not my favorite, to be honest. Honestly, right now, I hope it doesn't close above it because I don't want to take it. I want to see it come back down. 4 candles in a row. Thank you. I want to see it run. I want it to come back down. Yeah, the 1 minute gave us a down close candle, so let's see if it can come back down into this order block or maybe even retrace down all the way to this 5 minute change in state of delivery. The 3 minute closed decisively. There was no 4 minute. So we are just waiting on the 2 minute here. There's a lot of risk here. I mean, this is 20 handles, this fair value gap. This is why I'm not super excited about taking it. Because if we close here and retrace, that's 20 handles of drawdown. I just don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I just don't think I want to take that risk. Michael, share. Can I tell you what changed my life in candlesticks? You can absolutely share, Michael. Okay, so down close candle on the 2 minute, closing inside. This makes me way more comfortable. Why would I say that? Now, if we get a 2 minute to close above this candle, we now have an order block and a close. Much more confident about taking a long. The only problem is we got to wait a whole 2 minutes. Yes, it will always, you want to see it typically run and find support at the 50% level and respect that 50% level and then move higher. The only time you get breakaway gaps, the ones that are unfilled are breakaway gaps and they're less common. But you can also use those breakaway gaps as measuring gaps to find out how far the range it may be looking to take or might be looking to go. That's great, though. All right, 30 seconds. Let's see where we go here. I'm not in this. I've thought about taking it. It's beautiful. I waited all that time to not take that trade. That's frustrating. Another 2-minute fair value gap, unfortunately. Watching this order block right here. I'm hesitant on going long off this order block because we did run this liquidity right here at 940. I just didn't like how high the 2-minute closed. Really disappointing. This looks nice. I want to see it tag the body of this 1-minute order block. That also would be a breaker on the 5-minute. Low, high, lower, low. That breaker's right in the midpoint of that first fair value gap. That's nice. I like that. Let's see if we can push higher here. Oh, come on. All right, tapped out there. I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to take another trade. We're going to stay green on the day. I wanted to wait for this 1 minute order block, but it came into the first fair value gap, and I thought that may have been enough based on how this candle closed right here. And it doesn't look like it was. So let's see what happens here. I want to see. It's a funded account. Nice right there. Sweep of liquidity. Yeah, that's why I mean I like it. It's also a breaker. Low, high, lower, low, breaks higher. Sometimes it doesn't give you those big retracements before it runs for the target. To me, this is the target, high of day. Or not high of day, but we got some room to the upside. All right, so took a 20 handle, just shy of 20 handles there, off of that 5-minute change in state of delivery. Recovered my loss, plus gained another 10 handles. So that put me up. Yeah, that's nice. I'll be done for today after that. Where did it flip for you? The change in state of delivery? Yeah, so what I did, if I'm looking at this candle, I looked at this candle, had my change in state of delivery. I saw we closed above it. The next candle is we tagged it, and then we started going green, and that's when I went long. That's when I went green, or went long for just to see if we could get 20 handles out of it. And we did. And now it's collapsing. Look, I took that trade back up to the breaker. This is really the trade that I should be in right now. That's the trade right there. If this really is a breaker like I think it is with that sweep of liquidity, this should run pretty aggressively lower. And we do expect lower prices. Man, I might participate in this again. Let me do this. I may actually jump to my other account. Let's do that. I think there might be one trade here. Okay, so I'm looking for one trade here. We just came up and we tagged the breaker. I missed that. And I would like to see if we can get a push lower for that. For me to take this trade, I need the 5-minute to close below this 5-minute fair value gap, which I have on another screen. I'm going to sit here for right now. But let's see if it wants to go lower. Right now we're tagging the midnight open level. But I'm looking on this account that you're seeing right here, I'm looking to simply take one trade per day for our small account challenge, $500 in this account, and we are looking to push this up to $1,000. Not in one day. We're going to do proper risk management. I'm looking to have a 10 handle stop loss with 2 micro contracts. That gives me a $40 of risk that I'm willing to put on the table, which in this case is roughly about 88%, which is really high for a low account, but you could do one contract and take $20. So that would put you more at a 2%, 20% risk. Excuse me, 2% risk. I think that is $20 out of 500. I don't even know what that is. Let me do the math. We're waiting though. Yeah, I can't. I mean, 2% is $10. So I can't even do a 2%. So we're going to have to do 5% risk most likely. $5% risk on my $500 on this account is $25. So we're going to have to stay with one contract with a one contract with a 10 handle stop loss. So that's what we're going to go for. We'll go for 10 or 20 handles on this trade if we can get it. I'm liking the idea of price moving lower. We need to see if it's going to push through this series of up down close candles right here. These down close candles right here is a 5-minute change in state of delivery or a 5-minute order block. If you were to go to a 5-minute, you'll see this as basically 2 down close candles, but I'm looking at it on a 1-minute chart. That box right there, we will treat that as, right now it's being treated as a fair value gap, finding support here to potentially move higher. But if we can break below it and close below this level, I might target these lows right here for a quick scalp. It would give us about 16 handles. If we are going to run higher, which there is a possibility, we have the 930 price sitting way up here, sitting at 494.50. So we have 930 sitting up here. We have some liquidity that's sitting well up here. If we're going to run that way, we need to find an inversion in here that we can take to the upside. And it looks like the 2-minute looks decent. The 3-minute also looks good. I hate, oh, the 4-minute, yeah, that's too big. I would rather do the 2-minute. We'll see if it gets up there. We'll take a look at it. But right now we swept this high. Little sweep. Let's see if it wants to close below this candle, right, this fair value gap right here, and push through this level down here. I have on Trading on Trade of 8, you're able to select, if I select this drop down, or I can, if I select the setting icon right here, it allows me to set up different types of entries. So I have my 930 models based on what I do. Then I have a 10-point model, not model, but bracket orders, and then a 20-point bracket orders where my stop loss is at 10 handles on both of these. But I set my profit based on where I think it's going to go. In this case, it's 16 handles, so I'm going to stretch it to 20 handles and then move it up to this low if I need to. But all of these are market orders. So we're just waiting for this candle to close below, and then we can take an entry. Now, if you are sending messages, this is a screen share, so I can't jump over to my chart at the moment. Actually, yeah, I can't. I could actually do this. Yeah, there we go. Let's see what you guys have to say. These large intraday swings are what I love trading. Cool, David. Tony, I'm going to be trading on Tradivate. It's going to be done on Tradivate. I'll do my analysis still on TradingView. I may switch back and forth, but right now I'm just going to hold it on this. The reason, Tony, I have it on Tradivate is because that's what I use with Apex. So I have all my funded accounts with Tradivate. And so I opened a personal account so I could do this $500 challenge or this small account challenge. More consolidation. That's what you expect between 11 and 12. More than likely, the move that we may be looking for is going to be in the lunch hour. But I think what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to keep recording for this trade. I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but I think I am going to end this stream. So I'll be back here tomorrow at 9:15 New York Standard Time if you want to join us. Use the code DTJ for anything that you do with Apex. I would greatly appreciate it. If you don't use Apex, don't worry about it. Just use what you want to use, but if you do use Apex, all I ask is check out that code DTJ, and it will give you the most updated discount Apex is offering right now. So with that, guys, God bless, stay safe, and we will talk to you guys soon. Take care.